Chapter 1, Kenny's Story. One night, I was at a friend's house babysitting his little sisters, Sally and Nicole. My friend was at a party, and I had promised him that I would look after the two girls until their mother came home. I even promised the two girls that I would put on a movie for them. So I went through the DVD shelf looking for a movie. But they were very young girls, so I didn't want to put on anything that was too unsuitable for them. So I decided to choose this as the movie. But when I showed the DVD to the girls, they didn't want to watch it. Being skeptic, I asked them why, and one of the girls responded with, if we were to watch that, he would find us." That sentence creeped me out. "Who would find you?" I asked, but they didn't respond. I decided to brush it off and just let them pick the movie instead. But for the rest of the night, it did haunt me. Who was he? It scared me so much that I was so skeptical about it that after when my friend got home, I decided to steal the DVD and find out what was on the disc. I came home and put the DVD into my PlayStation 3. When the DVD loaded, it started with the opening scene from the classic Thomas episodes, but everything wasn't right. The opening scene was all glitchy and very low quality. There were no credits, the music was playing backwards, and the screen would occasionally cut to static for a split second. After the opening scene ended, the screen stayed static for 3 seconds, then the actual episode started, or at least what was supposed to be the episode. Everything looked normal, but something wasn't right. All the engines were at Netford Station, but they all looked sad and depressed. The Fat Controller was thinner compared to his usual plump self, and Thomas was nowhere to be seen. James the Red Engine seemed to be having a conversation with the station master. Then the Fat Controller went up to him and asked if he was ready. James started crying and said that he didn't want to do it, but the Fat Controller looked at him angrily, saying, "We have no choice." The whole situation was kind of depressing, but this was usually a light-hearted show. Why was this episode so depressing? James went out of Napper Station and continued down the track soon as he reached a dark tunnel. As he slowly approached it, everything went black. After that, nothing happened. It was just completely black for 5 minutes until the normal credits appeared. The DVD ended and went back to the main menu. I decided to take the disc and put it back into the case, thinking it was some type of stupid bootleg. But as I took the disc out, something wasn't right again. When I first inserted the disc, it looked like a normal DVD, but when it was injected, there was a message written on it. "You stole my life." I didn't really pay much attention to it at the time, but it was very freaky. I put it back in the case and left it on my bedside table. That night, I started having a very weird dream that I was actually a train going down the same tracks James did. As I reached the tunnel, the number sticker that was on James was placed on the side of the tunnel. Suddenly, the train in my dream went into the tunnel, and soon I heard a loud scream that woke me up. I was terrified, covered in sweat. I had no idea what was going on or what that dream was. I was getting ready for school the next morning. I was packing up my books, and when I remembered that I forgot to do my homework, I opened up my English book to write something down, and there I got a shock. Almost all the pages in the book were ripped out. The only page that was there was a giant T in scribbles. I checked the rest of my books, and they were all the same. All the pages were ripped out, except one with a giant T on it. I decided to fake illness so I could stay home and watch the DVD a second time and try and find secrets I didn't notice on the first viewing. I didn't find anything secret. It was just the same DVD I watched last night. But when I got to the part when James went into the tunnel and everything went black, I could hear something. Voices. I turned up the volume on my TV. I could hear the voices of Thomas and James. They sounded like they were having a conversation. Thomas was talking about disturbing incidents such as global warming, death, animal abuse, and all of that sort of stuff. James was begging Thomas to stop, and Thomas did. But then Thomas responded with, "You stole my life, and I will steal it back." James screamed loudly as a demonic laugh was heard, and it all went silent suddenly. The disc glitched out and refused to play. Every time I took it out and put it back in, the disc would refuse to play. Then I suddenly got a phone call, thinking it was my mother. I placed the disc on the table and answered the phone. When I said, "Hello?" a voice on the other end said, "I know you're listening, Kenny Pay." That was my name. And the worst part was that it sounded exactly like Thomas. I dropped my phone and grabbed the DVD and rushed out of the house with it. Put it back in the case and threw it in the trash can outside my house. The garbage truck then came the next day, and I never saw the DVD again. I never had any issues after that. My life just went back to normal. I was no longer haunted by Thomas and that godforsaken DVD. So I believe that the DVD is some type of curse. And the more I look back at it, now is some type of curse. And the more I look, and I feel that if I kept the DVD for longer, I probably would have risked my life to whatever was on the other end. But I just wish I just destroyed that disc while I had the chance. Because I know that the DVD is still out there. And whoever is unfortunate enough to get a hold of the disc is going to be cursed. Thanks for reading the story. I felt that I just had to talk about this. Please, if you ever come after that disc, do not watch it. And that is the message out and for now. But that will be a story for another day. Stay tuned for the second chapter. The next chapter will be my story. And sorry for the little mistakes I did. It's just that there were just a few glitches on Gohia's Lost Episodes Wiki. And just so you know, my name is not really Kenny. I'm just narrating the creepypasta itself. So yeah, this is Gabriel Price signing off. I'm always watching.